गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The second mantra in this section is also Mahavakya, and it is almost identical to the first mantra with a few emphasis which is slightly different, and so it is almost identical. It's just a little more specific, that's all. So we'll chant that. Yadarchimadyadhanubhyonu cha yasmilloka nihita lokinascha तदेतदक्षरं ब्रह्म सप्राणः तदुवाङ्मनः तदेतत्सत्यं तदमृतं तद्वेद्धव्यं सौम्य विद्धि। So archimat, yat archimat. So archimat means endowed with effulgence, rays, beams. That is what archi means. But here possessing effulgence, even though grammatically that is what it is, but still we cannot say it is possessor, possessed. We cannot have that kind of a difference. Possessor, possessed difference means what? Dvitvam will come, two-ness will come. What do we want? Oneness. And so it's the matup here is as though, the one that is by its nature effulgent, we have to say. Self-effulgent. So archimat, and so archimat means that which is totally and completely self-effulgent. And then we have to add bhavati after each one, because otherwise it will not make sense. Okay? Yad archimat, what should we say? Yeah, don't say avi now, because that's done. Okay? Yeah. So yad archimat bhavati, yad anubhyo anucha bhavati. You have to add bhavati everywhere, otherwise it's just incomplete. So Upanishad can afford to talk like that, but in our understanding we have to say is. The word is has to be added. So yad archimat, and then yat, that which anubhyo anucha. This is not a what is that, foreign idea. Anu means what? Atom, small. Small is a upalakshana for sukshma. Sukshma, small, means subtle. So that which is subtler than the subtlest means what? Yeah, it is no size in particular. That is how we have to understand. It's greater than the greatest also. How do we say that? Cha is there. Chakara means you have to take the opposite. We saw that yesterday. Yesterday also one cha came, and then we knew what nimishat cha, and the chakara means what? Animishat cha. It blinks, it does not blink. And then we have this even in the Kathopanishad we saw. Yat bhutat cha bhavyat cha. That extra chakara is for vartamanat cha. And so therefore this pratha, this custom is very much there. And here anubhyo anucha, Adi Shankara leaps on that cha and says, and he also remembers the Kathopanishad mantra. What is that? That is the, what is that, Anoho Aniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. So that is, that he remembers that, so he leaps on that, and then we will see in the Bhashya that he will say Chakarat, Mahato Mahan, he will say. And so this is this is how the Upanishad reveals itself. And after you study a few of them, you also leap. Whenever you see chakara, you wonder, an extra chakara, what is doing there? This is how the Bhashya has to be understood and unfolded. So after studying 2-3 Bhashyas, then we become what? We become very alert. We become very alert to each and every chakara, each and every small thing, which otherwise we would have in poetry. These things are padapuranartha, meaning to fill the meter. Chatu, Havai, these are all, what are they called? Nipatas. They don't have much meaning other than indeed and all these things. They are for filling up the meter. But in the Upanishads, they have meaning. And so we have to be we have to understand these as keys to unlock the deeper meanings here. And then, Yad Archimat Anubhyo Anucha. So up till here, it is Pratyagatma description. The description of the I after all the, what is that? Aham pada vachya, tvam pada vachyartha has been removed. Vachyartha, body, mind, sense complex. Vachyartha, this size, this much, these notions. And so, the tvam pada lakshyartha earlier was what? Avi, here it is Archimat. And the subtle. The subtle is there because the Pratyagatma is very subtle. It cannot be objectified. Pratyagatma means innermost Atma. So innermost means what? After removing everything that is quote unquote outside. This is only from the standpoint of the body. From the standpoint of Atma, there is nothing inside, outside. It is everywhere and it is everything all the time. And so, Yat Archimat Anubhyo Anucha is Tvam Pada Lakshyartha. And then we immediately jump into Tat Pada Lakshyartha Yasmin Lokaha Nihitaha Lokinaha Cha. So, Yasmin means in which Brahman. Now we are not talking of the body, mind, sense complex. Now we have gone to Tatpada Lakshyartha, this Brahman which is the cause of the universe. Jagat Karanam Yat Brahma Vartate. Tat, what is that? Tasmin, in that Brahman, again, no adhara adheya, no container contained. Like in this pot there is some berries. Not like that. So, we have to go beyond that container contained conditioning, and then what do we say? In this Brahman, again the in is within quotes, as though in this Brahman are located what? The entire Jagat of all names and forms. Sarve Lokaha. How many lokas are there? 14. Answer came little late, but it came. So, 14 lokas. And then if the lokas are there, so to speak, non-separate from Brahman, what about the people that populate the lokas? Lokinaha. Lokinaha cha. Also the people who populate. So all the prani jata, all the groups of people, entities, not just jivas, not just human jivas, but all entities, all the jivas who populate this these lokas are also included, because the Upanishad doesn't want us to think that lokas are non-separate from Brahman. But these lokinaha, these people who are populating the lokas, being loko, they are outside of Brahman. No, they are also non-separate from Brahman. Though the people are non-separate from Brahman, the animals are non-separate from Brahman, things which we have not yet discovered to exist. So many deep-sea creatures are there, so many birds are there that we thought were extinct, but suddenly they are spotted. All of them are included in this Brahman. That's why the tasmin is more of a lakshya. So yasmin nihitaha, what? Lokinascha. And then, so this is what? Tat pada lakshya. Then the aikya is given in the next word. Tad tat, very clear, beautiful. Tat Brahma is what? Etat Archiman Atma. That Brahman is this Atma, as clear as possible. So that and this is a very, again, these are things we don't think about. Then you can tell everybody, what did you talk about today? This and that. That's all we can say. But really speaking, that and this are very, very laden with meaning. That is always used, the word tat is used for what? Paroksha. Paroksha how? In my understanding, remote in my understanding, not that Brahman is remote, but remote in my understanding. That is why tat is used. And etat to refer to myself, because I am right here. Have I objectified myself when I say I am right here? Very interesting question. No, because I am self-effulgent Archi. This is what we have to say. So this, I am this Avihi. I am this, what's that? All effulgent consciousness. And so, therefore, this is, the Aikya is pointed out. So, in the first line, we had the Tvam Padalakshya starts with Tvam here. Why? Because that's a very good way to start, because that is where the confusion lies, and that Tvam is identified with or equated with Tat, and this Tat is nothing like Tvam. Why? Because the Tat has so many features, like all the lokas are included, all the people are included, and then by that we have to infer what else? Sarva Shaktiman, Ishvaraha. And then we have to bring in all the Ishvaratvam, the 6 bhagas that we talk about in the Bhagavad Gita, all of them are brought. All of them are brought to bear, and then so what is the difference between Tvam and Tat? Big difference. But then we have to see that Tat Padalakshya also as what? Avihi Archimat Brahma with a certain name and form, with an infinite upadhi, is called Ishvara. The same Archimat Brahma with finite upadhi is called sad jiva, complaining jiva. But therefore, that tat is a tat, that tat Brahma, tat means refers to what came just now. Yasmin lokaha lokinascha nihitaha tat Brahma. That Brahman is indeed etat Atma. That Brahman is Archimat, this Atma is Archiman. So like this, we have to see the oneness here. And then furthermore, coming back again, this is the unique methodology of the Upanishad. It goes from Tat to Tvam back to Tat, or it goes from Tvam to Tat back to Tvam, because it's all about me. Correct? Yeah. Nobody will be interested in Vedanta if it was just about Brahman. If this Brahman did not happen to be myself, everybody will go away. They will just get bored and leave, because enough of Brahman, how many lokas, how many things are included in it, who cares? Why should I care? No, this is you. Oh, okay, now I will listen. This is how it is. Now I will listen because it is pertaining to me. And so since it's all about me, analysis of Shastra is called Mimamsa, because it's all about me. And then so here, now back to me. Saha Pranaha. No, now this Saha means Saha, we can say Ishvaraha, or we can say Atma, because Tad has been equated to what? Etat. And actually, if it is referring to Brahma, it should have been said Tat, but this Pullinga Desha is to qualify Prana, Saha Pranaha. It's like the same, in a small way, the same gender bending which we see in the excuse me. In the Kathopanishad, we see the same gender bending. Purushatna param kinchit, then sa kashtha, sa paragatihi. How did saha purusha become sa kashtha? That is how it is. It's neither masculine nor feminine, but here it is more straightforward. This pulling adesha is because the content is being talked about here rather than the grammar. So we focus on the content. What is this Ishvara? This Brahman, this Ishvara is prana. And then tat u, also vang manaha, speech and the mind. The Lord of the prana and the Lord of the speech and mind has to be the Lord of the speech and mind, because speech and mind are big friends. How are they friends? Because they are mutually interconnected, and then they have a appreciation society, mutual appreciation society. Speech says, oh my God, oh mind, you are so creative, look at all these things you have done. And mind says, no, 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 it's all because of you that I have a voice. Otherwise it would just be secret thoughts which nobody would know. So that's why they are together like this. And the Taittiriya Upanishad also recognizes yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha. Where, from which? Yato means yasmat karanat, yasmat jagat karanat, yasmat brahmanaha, from which Brahman the speech and mind beat a sad retreat, not having been able to objectify them. So speech and mind are together, tadu vang manaha, vak and manas, both are there. And then back to now, tatpada, the nature of this is what? Tat etat, that tatpada, that tatpada lakshya is this. This, what is the this? That which is in the form of your prana and in the form of your mind, your speech. Do you see how it goes back and forth between this and that? So this is how the presentation is, very beautiful. Tat etat satyam. Satyam means not here any other meaning. Paramarthikam sat. Tad etat satyam. This alone is the existence of everything. The existence of prana and manaha is based on this Brahman, which is the only source of existence. Tad etat satyam. That means what? I am this satyam. We have to see that. Don't say that Brahman is satyam. That's why the tat comes first, and etat immediately it is that tat is converted into etat. This tat Brahma is etat. Etat Brahma, right here, right now. So this chit, this Brahman, this consciousness is alone the truth of the whole universe, and where the prana is included, where the mind is included, and which is the only source of existence. Tadetat satyam. If everything exists, it is because consciousness exists. This will be made clear in the Bhashya. If everything exists because consciousness exists, every other thing that is said to be existent borrows from the light of this Archi, borrows its sentience, borrows the existence from this Brahman alone. Therefore, etat, this tat which is now etat, understood as etat, satyam, and then tad brahma. the tad amritam, the tad Brahma is amritam. Amritam means what? Not coming to nasha, avinashi. Amritam, avinashi. Not subject to nasha. Nasha means what? Destruction. Very good. Not subject to nasha. Not at all subject to any form of destruction. And this tat is etat, which is Brahma, which is asatyam, which is amritam. Amritam, eternal, nityatvat. Because it is not subject to destruction, it is nityam Brahma. And then tat vedhavyam. The root is fourth conjugation, vyadh, vidyati, vedhavyam, this to strike, to pierce. So this has to be struck. How to hit this Brahman? Hit again within, strike, pierce within apostrophes. So vedhavyam, this must be struck. You can say, I struck upon an idea. We talk like that. I hit upon this notion. So like that, figurative meaning of vedhavyam, this must be struck. And then why the word vedhavyam is there? Because the next two mantras are going to give a beautiful imagery, upasana as well as jnanam of the Atma, the connection between the Atma and Brahman and how Brahman should be known. And the Antahkarana is the arrow which has to hit the target, which is Brahman. So this is what is going to be. The Upanishad is preparing us for this mantra. So it is tad vedhavyam. This alone must be hit as one hits a target. Meaning what? Apramattena, it will be told later. Apramattena means what? Unerringly. Because if you make a mistake, it's gone. If you make a mistake, it's gone. Meaning, if I take Brahman to be the body, mind, sense complex, it has not hit the target. If I take Brahman to be just what I have and my possessions, it has not hit the target. So the hitting must be without mistake. Unerring hitting. Apramattena vedhavyam. Sharavat tanmayo bhavet. Sharavat tanmayo bhavet means be focused like even the arrow is focused. Once you release the arrow after keeping the lakshya, the target in mind, it will not look this side. It will not say, oh, here is Starbucks, let me go get a cup of coffee. The arrow doesn't say. This side my friend lives, let me go visit her, visit him. The arrow doesn't say. The arrow does not see anything. And the arrow just goes straight to the target. Similarly, the Antahkarana must be sharpened like an arrow and directed towards the target, which is Brahman, to understand this oneness. This is how it is presented. And then tad vedhavyam, he somya, means the pleasant looking one, cool like the moon. And this is how the teacher addresses the student, which is nice because usually the student coming from samsara has been addressed as a donkey. This is, hey, idiot. And the teacher doesn't continue the samsarik parampara. The teacher only sees the best in the student. Hey Somya, oh good looking one, oh pleasing one, you are pleasing to me. And this is something wonderful. Because the person who is coming to the teaching has been battered by the winds of samsara, as we saw in the Viveka Chudamani, and then is in a very compromised and vulnerable position, has left everything, is full of self-doubts, lack of self-confidence is there, and so the teacher builds up the confidence by saying what? Somya, hey Somya, Vidhi. Vidhi here doesn't mean pierce. Vidhi from with, to know, lot, madhyama purusha, ekavachanam. So, meaning you must know. No choice. You must know, it's an order. May you please know. No, there is no please here. You must know. You are pleasing and you must know. This is all that there is. So, this is the verse. As you can see, this mantra is very similar to the one that we saw earlier. And then there is no connecting bhashya except kincha. Kincha means furthermore, meaning more of the same. More of the same with in a different, what is that called? Configuration, different words, different setup, but same understanding. Kincha, furthermore means continuing this thought. Yat archimat दीप्तिमत् तद्दीप्त्या हि आदित्यादि दीप्यते इति दीप्तिमद् ब्रह्म. So, Archimat is translated as Deeptimat, same thing. So, this Deepti is not a light belonging to a lamp, belonging to any object in the universe. This Deepti is Swayam Jyoti, Swaprakasha, one's own light of consciousness, self-effulgent, and it is called light because, not because it is shining, but because it is the illuminer of everything. Don't think of some object called light, because this is something which drives everybody crazy, because everybody is looking for some light, especially in the beginning stages of the pursuit. It is, that's why Adi Shankara clarifies. Archimat is Deeptimat, another word which is more frequently used. Archi people may not know. And then Deeptimat, Tad Deeptya hi, because of its light, Adityadi Deepyate. Deepyate, passive usage, is lit up. What is lit up? Aditya, Soma, Taraka, all of them. So, all the luminaries, which are what? The sources of light, which we think are the sources of the light, sun by day, moon by night, fire by night, and then stars also that are twinkling, all these we think are the sources of light, but this is the granddaddy of them all. This is the only source of light which even lights up the sun. What do you mean lights up the sun? Sun is what lights up the eyes, correct? Sun lights up the eyes and allows me to see, but then ultimately you have to say this is sun, correct? You have to say. The light of the sun reaches the eyes and then makes the sun visible, one argument, but that's a local argument. That is just as far as this body-mind sense complex goes, and the vyapara of objects in the belonging to the same order of reality. Sun belongs to the same order of reality as the eyes, correct? Eyes, vyavaharikam sat or paramarthikam sat? Vyavaharika, empirical reality. And sun, empirical reality. So even though empirically speaking, what do we say? The eyes are the ones that are lit up by the sun, and then the eyes allow me to see. Because experientially we know, in pitch dark what can you see? Nothing. But that is all belonging to the empirical order of reality. If we go further, we are the one to say, this is the sun. Beatles song is there, here comes the sun. Yeah, here comes the sun. Who says? I say, here comes the sun. That's how the song is. Here comes the sun, I say. See, they knew little bit of Vedanta. So, here comes the sun, I say. Nobody else says. Sun cannot say, here I come. No. Sun is what? Jadavastu. Even though it is self-luminous, it is jadam. Moon is what? Equally jadam. Stars, equally jadam. Fire, equally jada. Agni is jada, stars are jada, sun is jada, moon is jada. Everything that we think of as luminaries, celestial luminaries, local luminaries like Agni, torch, fire, gas, whatever you want to say, all gas lamp, all of them are jada. So this Archimat Deeptimat Brahma is the only source of Chaitanyam, Shuddha Chaitanyam. So ultimately, I have to say, here comes the sun, I say. Here comes the moon, I say. I am the one giving Satta and Spurti to the sun, to the moon. This is how I have to think. I have to stop thinking that I am dependent on the sun. And then still, even though I know this, one can go in the water and offer arghya from the standpoint of the empirical body-mind-sense complex and see the sun as devata. That's a different thing. That is a bhavana. But here we are talking of the reality. So adityadi deepyate iti deeptimat brahma. Because it, by its light alone the sun etc. shine. What mantra comes to mind? Yes, na chandra tarakam, na ima vidyuto bhanti. Then what to talk of this small little fire? Kuto ayam agnihi, kutaha. And then tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. In which light all of them shine after. Shine after means not after a time gap. It is immediate. There is no time gap. After means in keeping with that light only. That here, Anu, more than translating as in keeping with, we have to say because of which. Yeah, because of which everything lights up. Anubhati. Bhati, original shine, Anubhati, because of which everything else lights up. This is the Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. So this is exactly what should come to mind. And then, so therefore, this is what is Brahman. First is this most effulgent, self-effulgent light which illumines everything. And I have to have a little bit of change in how I think of myself. What do I say? I am the light of all lights, and the whole Jagat exists. Where? In my consciousness. In again within quotes, the whole Jagat cannot exist apart from my consciousness. Because I have to illumine everything. The entire Jagat is Jada or Chetana? Jada. Chetana, because I am imparting Chetanatvam to it. Chetanata, I am imparting. It is a borrowed Chetanata in which light all the Jagat shines. But then this Brahman, which is infinite, does not become thin by lending itself to everything. That's another problem. Brahman is not like a bottle of jam, and then the Jagat is like bread, and the Satta Spurti is being spread and on the bread, and then what? Jam is over. Jam is now in the bread. Jam is no longer in the bottle. This is a mind jam, okay? Yeah, so this will cause a traffic jam in the head. So therefore, what we have to say, it's like you have to imagine infinite jam. And the Jagat, which shines in the light of Brahman, in the existence of Brahman, all knowledge, Jagat is nothing but existence and knowledge. And so this existence and knowledge belongs to infinite Brahman, which never comes to an end. So Brahman does not become in any way, what? Slim. Swarupa aparityagena rupantarapattihi. So the rupantarapattihi, apattihi, the obtaining of various names and forms, it swarupa not aparityagena, by not giving up its nature. So this Brahman is called Archimat because it is infinite. And this infinite consciousness does not undergo any change. Apachaya, upachaya, rahitatvat, because it does not have any increase or decrease. It does not decrease no matter how many things it upholds. And because if it's a local light and you keep borrowing the light, the original light will become a flicker. Not like that at all. So that which is infinite and that which never comes to an end, and that which is swarupa aparityagena rupantarapattihi. So it as though morphs into the Jagat without losing anything. Kincha yad anubhyah श्यामाकादिभ्यः अपि अणु च सूक्ष्मं च शब्दात् स्थूलेभ्योऽपि अतिशयेन स्थूलं पृथिव्यादिभ्यः. Very straightforward. Kincha, further, what? Yat anubhyah. Anubhyah means what? Of all the sukshma things. Anubhyah api anucha. It is smaller than the smallest. One meaning, or sukshma than the sukshmas. All the sukshmas. The second meaning is better. We can take the first meaning also, no harm, because that is Brahman is everything, small and big. But sukshma also we have to take. Brihaccha tad divyam achintya rupam sukshmat sukshmataram yad vibhati durat sudure tadihantiketcha. This is the tadetad brahma nihitam guhayam. This is coming in the third section, third mundaka, and then third mundaka, first subsection, seventh mantra, I think. So, Brihat Chayat Achintya Swarupam. Brihat means big, and then which is incomprehensible, Rupa of which, and Sukshmat Sukshmataram. That Sukshma is here. Anubhyo Anucha. Yat Vibhati, that which shines as Sukshma of the Sukshmas, and then Durat Sudure, that which is further than the farthest. And then this is in terms of space, and then time also. Durat sudure, then tad ihantikecha, which is right here within this body mind sense complex, so to speak. And then pashyatsu, for the one who sees. What is that? For the one who sees, nihitam guhayam. For the ones who see, it is already there in the heart, which is recognized. Same mantra talked about here slightly differently. And so here the this is sukshmam. Sukshma he says, and then cha shabdat, because of the cha shabda, the cha and word. The word is not just and dot 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 it is. So dot 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 means what? Sthulebhyah api atishayena sthulam. Bigger than the Mount Everest, Parvatadibhyah, bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, subtler than the subtlest, and then colossal, more colossal than the most colossal thing in the universe. Meaning what? Sarvam Brahma, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Sarvam Brahma means what? Does it include me or not? Yes. This is another baby Mahavakya within a Mahavakya. Because when you say Sthulam Brahma, Sukshmam Brahma, then that it includes everything. Sarvam Brahma. And then he is going to say that. And then, further, now we go to the Tatpadalakshya. Yasmin Lokaha Bhuradayah Nihitaha Sthitaha ये च लोकिनः लोकनिवासिनः मनुष्यादयः. So, very straightforward again. Yasmin Brahmani, in which Brahman, in again within quotes, there is no in and out, but just for our understanding, Yasmin means non-separate from which. Non-separate from which Brahman, Bhuhu Adayah. So we need not list, we know all the 7 lokas, 7 up and then 7 down. So 7 up, 7 down in terms of discomfort. 7 up in terms of comfort. So 7 down means uncomfortable lokas, and then 7 up means comfortable lokas. It includes this loka also. So even though we complain, it is quite comfortable. Let us understand that. It doesn't come under 7 down. It comes in the, it's the first one of the 7 up. because we have this beautiful Manushya Sharira to pursue this knowledge. So all these lokas, and the lokas are not empty, the lokas are filled with what? Sentient beings. And that sentience is also borrowed from what? Brahman. Archimat Brahma. This is a very interesting, configuration, because Jada and Chaitanya are both talked about in this one line. Lokaha, Jadaha, Lokinascha, what? Chaitanya. So they are Chaitanaha, and then Lokaha are what? Jadaha. So it is very interesting. So both the Jadavastu and Chaitana are what? Non-separate from Brahman. That same Brahman upholds, so to speak, the Jadavastu and also the Chaitana Vastu. So Jadavastu means Satta, Chaitana Vastu means Spurti. Satta Spurti Pradhanena Lokaha Lokinascha Pravartante. So because of Brahman being there, and because it is the only source of existence and sentience, all the lokas and the people and the populations are there. All the prani jata, all the hosts of pranis are already there. And then he explains the cause of this. Chaitanashraya hi sarve prasiddhaha. Chaitanyashrayaha means they are all dependent on this Chaitana Vastu, which is what? Brahma. That is the original Chaitanyam. Original Chaitanyam means what? Free of name and form. So that Chaitana Vastu in the Jagat, which has name and form, is also what? Is also what? Brahman. Come on, yeah. Is also Brahman. What else can it be? It is Brahman only. So that which is Arupa is Brahman, that which is Sarupa is also what? Brahman. And the Nama Rupa being Mithya. And the Mithya, whenever there is Mithya Vastu, what do we have to infer? There is Chaitana Vastu upholding the Mithya. Mithya cannot uphold the Mithya. So Mithya cannot uphold the Mithya, that is just an apparition. Like the rope upholding the snake. Rope cannot uphold the snake, and both are Mithya. One is Mithya within Mithya, another one is Mithya. So therefore, Chaitanyashrayaha hi sarve. Sarve means what? Lokaha cha, Lokinascha. Both we have to take in. Sarve. Everything in this universe is Chaitanyashraya, even though it may be Jada in nature, in that particular place, in that particular time, like rock. Rock is also Satchidananda. But rock has no Chit. Rock has Chit. But the Chit is latent. Chit is sleeping in the rock. Why? Sukshma Sharira Abhavat. Because it has no Sukshma Sharira, there is no antennae. Like you have to have a transmitter and a receiver. There is no transmitter of this Chaitanyam in the rock. So therefore the rock is, in the rock, Brahman is sleeping. But in the human being, what is Brahman doing? Complaining. Yes. That's the only difference. So, in the human being, Brahman is full of complaints. In the rock, Brahman is sleeping. In the tree, Brahman is giving oxygen to everybody. In the tree, the Brahman is swaying. In the gazelle, the Brahman, in the deer, the Brahman is leaping. In the bear, the Brahman is growling. In the big cats, the Brahman is prowling. So, growling Brahman, prowling Brahman, existent Brahman. And then Jadam Brahma, it's all Chetanam Brahma alone. Even though we say Jadavastu, it is just a relative expression of this Brahman, where Sukshma Sharira Abhavat, this Chaitanya is not manifest. Avyakrita Chaitanya in the rock and in all these inanimate things. They too are what? Satchidanandam Brahma. Sarvehi Chaitanyashrayaha. Because otherwise the Jagat has no being at all. And then Adi Shankara says, this is prasiddha. This is prasiddha. We experience this. That any jada vastu has to be what? A Chaitanyashraya, it is proven. It is proven. Chaitanya alone is there, because anything that is existent is knowable. Correct? Yes? This is a different way of looking at Satchidananda. If something exists, like this flower, very beautiful one today, this flower exists, correct? And this flower exists means what? It is, can be known. Means it's an object of knowledge. If it's an object of knowledge, and how is it known? It is known as all the attributes of the flower are non-separate from the knowledge that is this flower. It is known as all knowledge. Petals, they have a purpose. Why are they like this? Why do they have these undulations? So that they can survive in the wind. There is a reason. And then the stamen comes up like this. And the pollen is here, you can feel it. Little bits of pollen powder is there, yellow powder is there in the fingers. And that is for the, not for you. And that is for the bees. And why should the bees, why should the flower care about feeding the bees and the butterflies? Because they will sit on the flower, the pollen will come on their little feet. And Bhagavan has given 6 of them. And what do they go and do? They spread the pollen. This is what is called natural pollination. And everything is, it's so intelligent. This is the intelligence of the flower. The astita of this flower is non-separate from the knowledge of this flower. We have to see this. The isness of this flower is non-separate from the knowledge of this flower. If you remove flower knowledge from the flower, there is nothing there to talk about. The existence also goes away, because the existence and knowledge are intricately connected. In fact, they are one and the same. Sat is Chit, Chit is Sat. And that Chit is all knowledge. So all knowledge of Brahman you see in the form of this flower. And so this flower is nothing but knowledge. So everything has a intelligently creation, intelligently created. Everything is with a specific purpose. That purpose is all knowledge. And the astita, the existence of this flower, is not separate from the jnanam, which is not belonging to the flower, which is flower, which is the jnanam expressed in the form of flower. Flower is equal to flower jnanam is. Flower asti is equal to flower jnanam asti. This asti and bhati go together. So back to our discussion. If something is existent, what does it mean? It should be knowable. If it's existence, it is knowable. And how can it be knowable? Is it knowable to another flower? Like this one? No, this one has its own knowledge, this one has its own being, this one has its own rupa, its own nama. So, one flower cannot be known by another flower, one flower cannot be known by another non-flower, rock cannot know the flower, flower cannot know the rock, one tree cannot be known by another tree. And so, therefore, Chaitanyashrayaha hi sarve. All of them are dependent upon this one and only source of existence, which happens to be all knowledge, which is Brahman. So the isness of the flower is borrowed from Brahman. Knowledge, that is the flower, is also borrowed from Brahman. And I, who am this Brahman, I am the only one in the universe that can know everything in the Jagat. Eventually, in the beginning I may not know. Why does this happen? Then one apple falls on the head. Then you say, oh, gravity. Like this, eventually you come to know the laws. And we are still discovering what these laws are. That is why Brahman is infinite. Jagat is infinite. So then he concludes this by saying, Tadetat Sarvashrayam Aksharam Brahma And here it clinches it. Aksharam means avinashi, because it does not come to an end. So all matter is based on consciousness. The adhisthana of matter is consciousness. Energy is also jada. Energy is also based on what? Consciousness. All that is there is only consciousness. And tad becomes now etat. Etat aksharam means this imperishable reality, this aksharam which Shaunaka talked about in the fourth mantra in the beginning of the Upanishad, saying what? Not Shaunaka, Angiras talked about as yaya aksharam adhigamyate, by which this knowledge is understood as what? Non-decaying knowledge, ever present. And who is that ever present? Tat Brahma etat. So this jiva alone. So the tat, that is converted to this. By which knowledge this is understood, by which knowledge that is understood as this. All that shining Brahman, that shining Ishvara is understood as this Pratyagatma, non-separate from myself. That alone is Aksharam, eternal. Eternal means not coming to, what is that? Not coming to any kind of nasha. Nasha can be from how many sources? Say 3. In Vedanta, 3 is good. Yeah, it's a safe number. Yeah. 3 sources. What are they? Yeah. So something can self-destruct. Swagata nasha. Brahman cannot be have swagata nasha. Why? Avayava is not there. Avayava varjitatvat. Swagata nasha is not possible because there are no limbs, there are no parts. Therefore, Brahman cannot fall apart. That which doesn't have parts cannot fall apart. And then you can have anya nasha. Something else can destroy. Something other than like itself, other than itself can destroy. What else is there other than Brahman? Nothing. And then something like it can destroy. Swajatiya nasha. So something just in the in the same species as Brahman can destroy Brahman, that also is not there. There is nothing like Brahman, there is nothing unlike Brahman. Therefore what? Avinashi. So tadetad aksharam Brahma. And then what else? Sapranah taduvang manah vakcha manascha sarvani cha karnani tadu antaschaitanyam. Yeah, back to tvam-padalakshya. It is prana and it is what? Manaha. It is not saying prana is powered by Brahman. No, it itself is the prana. It is manifest and expression of Brahman. The manifest expression of Brahman is in the form of your prana. This itself is a meditation. Each time I breathe, who is breathing? Brahman. What is the air? Namaste vayo tvamevat pratyaksham brahma asi. So the air is Brahman. Prana is Brahman. Inhalation is Brahman. Exhalation is Brahman. And then tadu vakcha manascha. So then he just sums it up. That is vak and manaha. Why? Sarvani cha karanani. Antaschaitanyam, obtaining as pratyagatma. Antaschaitanyam. Yes, pranadikam sarvam antaschaitanyam. Antargatam chaitanyam yasya antaschaitanyam. And then tadevam bhutam jneyam. That has to be understood. Evam bhutam means in this manner Brahman has to be understood as finally what? Non-separate from my speech, non-separate from my prana, non-separate from all the karanas. As sarvani karanani means what? All the karanas. My jnanendriyas are what? Brahman. My karmendriyas, Brahman. My thoughts, Brahman. My speech, Brahman. This is of course made famous in the Kenopanishad mantra. What is that? Chakshushas chakshuhu, shrotrasya shrotram, manaso manoyat, pranasa pranasya pranaha, vachoha vak, So, vachoha vak. So, the speech of the speech, the mind of the mind, and that mind of the mind means what? Because of which the mind is, because of which the mind can operate. And even when it doesn't operate, what is there? Brahman alone is sustaining this. So, therefore, back to Pratyagatma, this back and forth, this what is that? Zigzag approach of the Upanishad is for what? Is for letting the knowledge really percolate. And then antas chaitanyam, up till then we saw, what else is there? Chaitanyashrayo hi pranendriyadi sarvasanghatah pranasya pranam iti shrutyantarat. Yeah. Two Shrutis have the same pranasya pranam, Brihadaranyaka 4.4.18 and Kenopanishad 1.2. Both of them have this expression, Shrutyantarat. So he quotes the same Shruti, Sapranaha, Tadu Vangmanaha, and then Chaitanyashrayo hi Pranendriyadi Sanghatah. So all the assemblage of the Indriyas which are sentient are not sentient by themselves. That self-sentient Atma, which is Tat, which is Tat Brahma, which is now this Atma, that Brahman, which is now this Atma, is powering the mind-body complex, powering all the Karanas, all the Indriyas, including the Ahankara, by Satta Spurti Pradhanena, by lending its light, by lending its what is that called? Existence, and lending its functionality. Pranasya prana means functionality. We have to see that, because when the ear of the ear means what? The dead person's ear, can it hear? No, you go like this, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. They will not jump up and say, why are you bothering me? Because they are gone. They are gone means what? That the Indriya, the Shrotrasya Shrotram, that which was there, that Antas Chaitanyam has departed. That is what we say. They have departed. That Antas Chaitanyam, equipped with this particular appendage called the name and form, has departed. That Pratyagatma, the presence of Pratyagatma is not there. So that Pratyagatma is Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manoyat. That so the function, for the function to take place of hearing, two things are required. One is Jadavastu, the organ of hearing, the organ of seeing, etc. And another is the Chaitanyam, which brings it to life in the form of functionality. So then the organ is Jada, and that which breathes life into the organ and makes it functional is what? Chaitanya. So what is the use of having ears when they don't hear? No use. And so therefore Chaitanya Shrayahi Sarve, so all the Indriyas, Pranadi, Sanghatah, Chaitanya Shrayahi, he repeats that. Chaitanya Shrayahi, everything is dependent on this Chaitanyam. Yat pranadinam antaschaitanyam aksharam tad etat satyam avitatham. Yeah. So pranadinam, we already saw antaschaitanyam. So that which powers the prana, etc., in the individual body, mind, sense complex of all living beings, that is what is aksharam, not the body. Body is not akshara. Body dies. And mind, of course, is already dead. And so therefore, what is alive is Brahman. What makes the body alive is Brahman, the presence of Brahman. Here described as Pratyagatma, I. That I alone, which is Jagatkar, which is equated to the Tatpada Lakshya, Jagatkaranam Brahma, that alone is Satyam, Aksharam, Avitatham. We saw this word earlier, very funny word, interesting word, Vitatham. So, Vitatha means false. Vigatam Tathatvam Yasmat, from which all factuality has departed. Tathatvam means factuality. So there is no fact anymore. Vitatham means something, which is false. Then you negate that, then it becomes what? True. Avitatham. Avitatham. So that's how we have Vaitathya Prakaranam. Vaitathya Prakaranam means what? The second chapter in the Mandukya Karika. Vaitathya Prakaranam, where the falsity of the universe is beautifully established. That also the Vitatasya Bhava, Vaitathyam. So this is what it is there, and then we'll finish the rest tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya